DEFSEC 2022 podcast presented by Cisco. Well, this is a wrap. End of day 2. People are starting to strike down. We've had a wonderful 2 days here at the DEFSEC trade show, and I want to tell you, none of this would have happened without the Atlantic Canadian Aerospace and Defense Association. Victoria, tell me how it went for you.
Oh my goodness, what an incredible show we had this year. DEFSEC, this is my second DEFSEC, and this one, I don't know how we're going to top this, I really don't. There were well over 1,300 people that went through the doors. There were hundreds of exhibitors. A lot of the ACADA members were here, which was wonderful. Right. This is a really interesting show because we know the intimacy that we provide at the show level. Yeah, it's an incredible show. Yep.
2 themed up days, Victoria. The first one was around cybersecurity, and the second one around workforce development. Let's talk about the cybersecurity. There was an awful lot of buzz around that on that first day.
There certainly was. The room was full. We had a great panel that we put together, and you know, coming out of the pandemic, one of the stats that I heard that cybersecurity threats are on the rise, over 300%, all on small, medium-sized businesses. And 40% of those had to react. 40% were of the small businesses in Atlantic Canada had to react in some way, and they need to be prepared. So as the industry grows, we at ACADA know that this is a top priority. So we're trying to figure out how we can help support SMEs as they embark on these opportunities that are coming their way, to ensure that they're ready to be competitive, but also to ensure that they're ready. So,
Victoria, you put the right people in the room, the conversations were great, and people walked away with a better understanding of cybersecurity than they went in. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. There was one thing everybody in this room had in common for sure, whether they were undersea surveillance companies or nanotechnology companies or shipbuilders or designers and everything in between. The search for talent is real. And you gave them the conversation front and center, workforce development, and then you unleashed 100 students in here to have a look around. Tell me about how that went.
It was great. So we know that this is one of the top issues that small businesses are facing right now is talent. They need talent right here and now. So it's the recruitment and then it's the retention. So what we did, we brought a group of experts together, and they talked about what the challenges are, but then they also talked about solutions. So that's one thing. But we know that the students that we have in this region, we need to keep them, and we need to keep them and attach them to the industry. So bringing in 100 students and showing them, we had a meeting today at lunch, and we showed them how to come and meet with these companies. So it's pretty powerful when the students are going around, because we know that these companies are going back and saying, did you meet any students? And they did. So hopefully we'll get some high statistics of those students walking away with great opportunities.
And of course, Victoria, you introduced us on the podcast to one of those students, and what a powerhouse she was. I mean, you want a vision into the future. I feel pretty good about that next generation that's coming into this workforce after meeting Abby.
And it's not just STEM. It's not just the students that are in the STEM programs in our educational institutions. We need folks that are doing commerce, we need folks that are doing economics, we need accounting. All of these businesses need power in their organizations. So it's not just the engineering and the science and the math. We do know that we need everybody coming out of our educational system to attach to this industry. But not only that, we know that for every 10 individuals that are leaving the workforce right now, there's only 7 coming in behind. So we know that in Atlantic Canada, we have to start thinking differently about it, and that's going to be through immigration. So not only are we looking at our educational institutions, the students, the international students that are there, we want them to attach themselves to the industry, but also help our companies through building strategies on bringing people from other parts of the country, but also internationally into this industry here in Atlantic Canada.
Absolutely. And one last question. You know, we interviewed probably 30 companies here, and many of them members of ACADA, members of the organization which you lead. They all spoke incredibly highly of the work that ACADA was doing. What do you attribute that to?
I think that ACADA, we're only 6 years old, but one thing that we really do well, we know our members really well. We know them by name. We know what they do, and we know what they need. And having that contact with our members is key for us to understanding what's important to them. So as we build over the next couple of years on the value proposition, that relationship with our membership is only going to get stronger. So because we're so close with our members, we're able to deliver value responses to them through programming and services. I think that's what's important.
Well, that's a recipe for success. You've got a great team, a great product. Doesn't happen without great leadership. So congratulations to you.
It's all of a team approach.
I want to tell you, Victoria, this has been a wonderful 2-day show. I can't wait to get back to DEFSEC next year. Well done to ACADA. Well done to Cisco for bringing us all in the conversation. And that's a wrap for DEFSEC 2022.